Welcome to the Shekina Meditation Podcast, created by Shekina community members. Shekina communities are dedicated to creating free devotional spaces of Christian practice for spiritual seekers and travelers around the world. We post Christ-centered guided meditation each week to help you in your personal or small group practice. You can find episode show notes and other information at shekinacommunity.com. Hello, this is Ray. This is episode 73 of the podcast. It's Saturday, the 16th of May in Pai, Thailand, as I record this. And it's sunny outside. You might be able to hear the birds. It's going to be a scorcher. It's a beautiful day. So I have amazing news, which is that Ro and Neil and Scion and Erika made it back into Pai yesterday. They had to apply for a re-entry permit or like an entry permit into Pai, and they got it. And then they were able, just as soon as they heard that they got it, they were able to get in the car and come across the border into Mae Hong Son yesterday. So that is amazing, and they are, I think they're very happy to be home. So I'm looking forward to doing some responsible gardening and stuff together. We're all kind of sheltering in place or whatever. I don't know what we're doing. We're limiting the amount of people that we are with. And so, I hope that as we limit that us can we can all be in the same circle. I don't even know what these words are that I'm saying. Life is so weird right now. So tomorrow we are going out to a village. It's a couple hours away. It's a Lahu village, and we have 27 more packets of food. We will have 27 more packets, food like hampers, to share with 27 families in this village. It is a long drive on a crazy road, dirt road, and it's going to be a busy day. We're going to be getting it all and shopping and packing it all up and heading out there. So I'm excited because I think Ro's going to be able to come with us, maybe Neil as well. And it's going to be a good day. Sarah, our office manager, will go along with us. She lives in a village nearby. This one's about 8 kilometers farther. And she says it's a bad road. And I'm thinking, if she says it's a bad road, then it's a really bad road, because the road to her village is also bad. So let's see how it goes. We have a pretty sturdy car. It's kind of like a little mini station, like a station wagon. That's kind of almost like a truck. It's got a truck engine, so that hopefully we can get there. And that's about it. We've been at the garden a little bit, checking out the new jungle that has erupted now that we've had some rain, and what needs to be weeded out, all the young trees that are starting that we don't want because there's too many. They grow like weeds. You turn your eye away and there's a sapling. It's crazy. So we have lots to do in the garden, and I'm happy that we can continue with these food deliveries. I feel like it's a good way to use our time right now. And just can't gather together with travelers at the moment, but happy to continue with these food deliveries. Listeners, this podcast is supported by you. Because this podcast is about meditation, we want to keep it ad-free. So our beloved patrons at patreon.com support us for as little as $1 a month. They are champions and wonders to us. We love them so. And it's easy to join in. All you have to do is go to patreon.com/Shekina Meditation Podcast. And when you get there, you can select how much you would like to support per month. And it can be $1 or any other option. You can also support us by rating or reviewing us on iTunes. You can email the podcast to a friend. You can tell about listening or photograph yourself and send it to us as you do your meditation. You can share it with the world. Supporting this podcast helps to keep Shekina communities running and free for travelers and spiritual seekers, and helps us know that you appreciate what we're doing and putting this podcast into the world. Patrons, you are the best. You are like a sunny morning with all the possibility. When you wake up and you feel, wow, this could be anything, that's what you're like. That's the free feeling that you give us. So thank you again. Today's episode is a Lectio Divina on James 1, 2-5, and it's guided by Ro and recorded specifically for you on this podcast. The meditation will have 3 parts as usual. Ro will guide you through some exercises to bring yourself to a place of being ready for meditation, slowing the body, slowing the mind, getting ready. Then she will guide you through the verses with plenty of space for thinking, for meditating. And the third part, you process. And so if you're sitting with someone else, tell each other about how you experience this meditation. Pass a talking stick or a stone or something like that and listen to each other without interruption. If you're by yourself, take some time to journal. Just really write down the things you want to keep with you from this meditation. This helps to solidify the experience and to go out into the world with more peace and awareness and a sense of God's goodness. So yeah, that's what I suggest. Let's begin.
Welcome to Shekina meditation today. As we begin, let's just find a comfortable position that we feel comfortable to hold for a little while. There's no rules about staying perfectly still, but to begin with, let's find a position that we can be still just for a little moment. If you're sitting, just drawing your spine up nice and long. Maybe imagining a beautiful thread through the crown of the head, lifting you up nice and tall. Maybe rolling your shoulders back a couple of times. Taking a couple of big deep breaths into the belly. Maybe sighing it out if that feels good to you. Letting the eyes close naturally, comfortably, if that feels good for you. And drawing our attention to the breath. And that's all we have to do right now, is just notice our breath. Noticing perhaps the movement in our body as we inhale and exhale. Noticing the 3-part rhythm of our breath. As we inhale, exhale, and that little pause at the bottom of the breath before we inhale again. Just noticing that rhythm. Perhaps noticing other sensations related to the breath. The feeling of the air as it rushes in the nostrils or the mouth. The expansion of the ribs, the feeling of the muscles moving. Perhaps you can notice the temperature of the air as it comes in, and noticing perhaps if it's warmed a little on the exhale. Just noticing the breath. That's all we're doing. Perhaps you can notice the feeling of the air as it hits underneath your nose or your upper lip in the exhale. That gentle sensation. Perhaps bringing the attention to some other sensations in the body as well. Maybe taking note, noticing where your body meets the floor or the chair. Noticing the sensation perhaps of your clothes against your skin, or any breeze you might be feeling. The parts of your body in contact with other parts of your body. Maybe your knees, perhaps your hands. Just noticing each of those sensations, letting your attention be just on those sensations alone. Maybe noticing some parts of the body that are a bit sore or stiff. Feel free to give them a wriggle or a stretch if that will bring some more comfort to your body. Perhaps imagine sending your breath to that area of your body. And gaining a little more comfort. As our bodies become nice and still and quiet, we may notice that our thought life, what's happening in our minds, is not so still or quiet. So we're going to spend a few minutes just considering and noticing our thoughts. as each one arises, we're just going to notice it, trying not to judge ourselves for thinking that thought, but just notice what's coming up for you, and then letting it go. You might perhaps like to do this with your breath, perhaps imagining that your thoughts are like clouds in the sky above you. That you're looking up into the sky and a cloud floats into your field of vision. You notice it, whatever it might be, a worry, a memory, something you need to do later on today. Just noticing it, acknowledging it. And as you exhale, gently blowing it away so that the cloud floats off over the horizon and out of sight. It doesn't need to bother you during this time of meditation. And there comes another thought, another cloud. Just exhaling it away. If that image works for you, feel free just to spend a couple of moments sitting with that idea. If another image works for you, feel free to employ that. The idea of your thoughts coming into your mind. You're just noticing them, not judging, and then just letting them float on by. Away from you, where you don't need to be concerned for them right now. You might notice that the same thoughts come back again and again. That's perfectly normal, that's fine as well. Just when you notice them again, letting them go again. Perhaps exhaling, blowing them away. Putting them just to the side for this time of meditation. You can engage with them again after the meditation if you feel like it. But for now, they don't need to bother you. They don't need to worry you or concern you. It's a special time of meditation. We're just clearing a bit of space in our minds. And let's spend another moment or two just exhaling those thoughts, those clouds, away from us. So that eventually all that is above us is just a clear blue sky, or the clear night sky, whatever you're imagining in your mind. As we begin to approach the second part of our meditation, where I'll be reading some verses from Scripture a number of times with a lot of silence, some simple questions. You might like to turn your thoughts to connection with the divine. Perhaps placing your hands palm upward on your knees as a symbol of listening and receiving, or perhaps your palms on top of each other in your lap, or some other symbol that seems good for you, of welcoming the divine, of listening to God, of receptivity. During this time of meditation, we make a clear space and we wait with expectation and hope, and we listen and we see what the divine might say to us through the words from Scripture, through our own thoughts and memories and ideas, through images, through sounds. I invite you to approach this part of our meditation with a childlike curiosity. What could it be that God might say to you today? And as we turn now towards our first reading, I invite you just to let these words wash over you, perhaps. They might be familiar to you or not. Perhaps trying to encounter them as if it's the first time you've heard them, which it might be. That's perfectly fine too. And there might be a word or a phrase that stands out to you above the rest. Just notice if that happens for you today. In the first reading, dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. If you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and He will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking. During the second reading, I'll read each phrase or sentence 2 times and then leave a couple of minutes silence in between. I invite you during this reading to again let the words wash over you and explore them with your mind. See what images or phrases stand out. Explore any memories that come up, any ideas. Feel free to play with these words, engage with them. Let them rattle around in your mind or roll over you. Perhaps again seeking a phrase or a word that might stand out for you above the rest. You might like to ask God to speak to you through these words. What is it you would say to me today? The second reading. Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. So let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. If you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and He will give it to you. If you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and He will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking. He will not rebuke you for asking. For this third and final reading, I'll read the whole passage through one time slowly. I again invite you perhaps to look for a word or a phrase that stands out, or to perhaps again ask the Divine, what would you be saying to me through these words today? You might also like to ask, why do I need to hear this today? What is it you would say to me through these words today? And why do I need to hear this today? The third reading. Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. If you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and He will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking. I'd like to also give us an opportunity now to reflect any responses back to the divine. Perhaps if you feel like the divine brought a word or a phrase to your attention, perhaps offering back some response to that. Any response is valid. I'll leave a couple of minutes for us to spend time responding back to the divine, if you feel comfortable to do that during this time. The third part of our meditation today is about response, responding, about reflecting. If you're meditating by yourself, you might like to take a few minutes to do some journaling, or draw a picture, write a poem, play some music. And if you're meditating with others, you might like to have a talking circle. You pass a talking stick or another object around the circle and let each person take a turn, sharing of their experience. Each person with the object having their chance to share what happened for them, and the rest of the people in the circle holding silence and letting them share and listening. Thank you so much for joining me for meditation today.
Thank you for joining today. There will be a new guided meditation available each week, so don't forget to subscribe to iTunes or sign up for our newsletter to get podcasts delivered to your inbox at www.shekinacommunity.com/podcast newsletter. Also, you can rate or review on iTunes or sign up as a patron at patreon.com/Shekina Meditation Podcast. Have a beautiful week. Many blessings to you.